Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A. And this may or may not be the last gardening tour of the season. Only time will tell. So here's the thing. It is the 3rd of October, and we usually get our first frost around the 12th is typically when that starts to happen. Sometimes we get a little early, sometimes we get a little bit late. No guarantee of anything. I may get 1 or 2 more garden tours in here, but I'm not betting on it. Something in my gut is telling me that the frost is coming. It's gonna be here. Even though we have been in the 90s the last couple of days, it just feels like we're gonna have snow on Halloween. But that just might be, my brain making up stories, which sometimes it does. But I am going to go around and I'm going to show you a few things in the garden. I have started thinking about cutting things back. I haven't gotten too far in it because everything is so grown together at this point. If I try to pull one thing, I'm going to end up pulling everything, and some of the squash still needs some time to possibly firm up. So I'm trying to work around that, but it's really, really hard with how everything is just all together. But I love it anyways. So let's go see the garden. I'll be honest with you, there hasn't been a huge amount of change in the garden since last week, but I still wanted to show it off a little bit. I have been thinking about harvesting the lemongrass and letting it dry out and maybe doing some teas and stuff with it. But otherwise, most of this area is pretty done. I have turned off the water to basically everything so that things will start to naturally pull back so I can start thinking about putting the beds to rest. But yeah, you can kind of see how everything is just a little raggy. I do have peppers that I am harvesting here and there. Tomatoes are pretty much done. I haven't harvested any tomatoes in about a week. See if I can get over there. I have thought about maybe, I don't know, trying to start some more spinach, but there's no guarantee. Like I said, we might have a frost in a couple days, in a couple weeks. You never know at this point. But these guys are looking really, really good. I'm waiting until I get that frost warning before I come out and I harvest absolutely everything I can right before that hits. These sunflowers have actually started to open up, but they have been so bug damaged. But I honestly have zero idea where these guys even came from because I don't have any of these kind of sunflowers anywhere. So they're just having fun. My big thing is I've really started coming through and starting to pull the carrots that haven't become too woody. And I've started shredding them. I think what I'm going to do is have a big day where I just pull a whole bunch of them and then put a bunch of it into the freezer. So yeah, you can see over here a little bit of the mess I've been starting to make. I have chopped down most of this area where the milkweed started to die back. I just kind of got a little tired of looking at it, so I just cut it down and laid it down. I might have to be careful how much of this comes back next year, because I do want to fill it in with more of the hollyhocks, and the Augustaceae is looking really, really good right now. So I kind of want to start diversifying this area. I do have, I believe, the green patches right there. Those are maybe foxglove or sweet williams. Don't remember which ones those are. but we'll see. They might be Sweet Williams. I am now starting to every now and then hand water the grapes and the kiwi, since I have turned off the sprinklers and the watering systems. So that's just one of those things I need to start doing, which is okay because I need to start emptying the rain barrels so I can winterize them. But it will be really sad to say goodbye to this back corner over here. This has really, really taken off, and I've enjoyed it so much, even though I literally cannot take the walking path through here anymore. And this is what I mean. I've been wanting to come through and pull out these tomato plants because they're really starting to just smell. Smell is my biggest thing right now, and I want to get rid of them. But I can't get around all the vines without doing some serious damage. So I'm gonna have to wait for the frost to kill everything before I can get all of this out. And then I'm gonna have a very big project on my hands of getting all of this out. And that's pretty much where I'm at in the garden right now. I'm just kind of waiting for everything to decide that its time is done. A lot of my onions have started to re-sprout, and they're some of the smaller ones, so I'm okay with that. At this point, it's just watching and waiting. Honestly, I don't really have a lot to show you that you haven't seen before in the last several gardening videos, but I thought I'd take a short little walk around with you guys. I do want to see if I can find a way to preserve the bunching onions that are absolutely everywhere. And there's probably quite a handful of peppers in here that I think this weekend I will come through and try to find everything I possibly can and preserve those up. So that'll be chopping and freezing. So she isn't extremely exciting to look at. There is some stuff still producing. But now we've just hit the waiting game period. Here's where you could probably see a little bit of a change. I've pulled out most of the beets at this point, and the spaghetti squash vine has started to die back. I'll be honest, that's mostly my fault because I haven't been watering it. And so I'm just waiting for what is left there to possibly ripen up. I harvested like 6 yesterday, so we're good on spaghetti squash for a little bit. But otherwise, we've got some beans in there, and I think this tomato plant right here does have a few green tomatoes on it. I don't know if they're ever going to get a chance to ripen. And I have seen a few green poblanos on here that if the frost hits too soon, I'll just harvest green. I prefer them to ripen up, but you can do it either way. But yeah, that's just a mess over there. And you can kind of see it in the pine berries. Oh, it looks like I've got a squash right there I need to come back and harvest. But yeah, there's still a lot of green, but I'm also to the point where it just feels right to say goodbye and to start cleaning up. But at the same time, I don't think these guys are ready to say goodbye yet. So here's the garden. I'll be honest with you, the last month or so has been super busy for me. So I haven't been able to give the garden a whole lot of thought, which probably is why I'm ready to say goodbye to this season's harvest and this season's crops and just this season's garden. I, I know in theory I have several more weeks where I could be growing and harvesting and preserving everything, but I've just kind of hit that place where I'm ready. It might not be ready, but I'm ready. So there's a few things here or there that I probably still want to do. I haven't even started thinking about next season, but I have started thinking about cleaning this up and trying to make managing this easier for me, because I think this season has taught me that if I don't stay on top of certain kind of maintenance projects, things can get away from me in a way that I don't like. And I would really, really, really enjoy having a good harvest off of things like my blueberries and my kiwis and my grapes and my pine berries and my honeyberries. And I've never really been really successful in the perennials. And just right now, in this moment, that's where my heart is at. But I think I need to do a little bit more research before I am anywhere near successful of that, because annuals are easy for me, because when they die, I can just say, oh well, I mean, they weren't gonna last past now anyways. But when I lose blueberry plants year after year after year, it gets frustrating, because I want that blueberry harvest, and you have to have them repeatedly to have that blueberry harvest. So I've just been doing a lot of thinking around all of that. But if you want to join me on the journey of discovering what next season's garden is even going to look like, feel free to subscribe down below. Hit the bell to do all the things to get all of the notifications. I also have an Instagram and Threads account if you want to go and check me out over there as well. I don't know if I will be back next week with a tour or a cleanup. So I guess we'll find this out together. But I hope I'll see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.